All right, this video is going to be about the Chaturanga push-up, which is a very specific kind of push-up, and this is where I teach the Chaturanga position. I teach vinyasa, and I don't really teach this so much as some swoopy position that you just kind of zip through as you're moving through your vinyasa, going high plank, down to low, the upward facing dog, and back up. So I take the swoopiness out of this, and I make this a little bit more of a mechanical movement. And the purpose of that is just to emphasize the bracing of your core and exactly what you're doing with your arms. So you're actually strengthening your shoulders, giving yourself some space and pulling your chest forward. And I do recommend actually practicing this for repetitions. It doesn't have to be a lot. You can do 3 sets of 3 super slow, 3 sets of 5 super slow. This is about moving slow and controlled and knowing exactly what your body's doing more than anything else. That's really going to give you the strength over time so that if you start moving faster, you're actually moving correctly here and you have that sort of awareness of what you're doing. Not losing any engagement through the core and not losing the proper action of your arms. Now keep in mind, as you come into your Chaturanga shape, what happens is you start with the arms bent, and then when you bend your elbows, you want to keep your arms parallel even as they bend. So one of the big challenges is as you bend your elbows, you're going to want your elbows to go to the sides. Resist that and keep the elbows pulled in. This is going to engage a lot of the muscles all around the shoulder complex, and you want those muscles to be working so it's not too much stress just on the shoulder head. So coming to the regular Chaturanga shape, keep in mind, you take this from plank, and when you're using this for strength or using this as a push-up to build more strength in the shoulders and build more core awareness, be deliberate about this. Hands about shoulder width distance apart, feet about hips width distance. Press your spine toward the ceiling, keep it lifted here to start, and keep your belly pulled in. So 2 things here. You don't want to just be hanging between the shoulders. You don't want to feel a shrug. You want to feel your spine pressed up and the shoulder blades spread apart, and you don't want to let your pelvis go. So you want to let go of your core. Keep the tension through your core to keep the pelvis in place, and keep the shoulders in line through your hips and heels. Now, if you're just using this as a push-up to build strength, press in your hands, press from your toes. And then as you press in your toes, let your weight come forward, keep reaching forward to the crown of your head, and as the shoulders come forward, let your elbows bend but keep them in place. Pull the elbows in, shoulders to elbow level, and then press back up to straight. And the real sign of strength when you're doing this is shifting your weight forward, coming halfway down, pausing, and then pressing straight up. And again, doing that nice and slow is going to build a lot of strength. You don't have to come all the way down to that point. And if you just want to scale it back a little bit, just lower a few inches. You can start building into that strength by coming into that same setup. Keep your spine long, and don't hang your head while you're doing this. Reach the top of the head forward, look forward just a little bit. Shoulders go forward as the elbows bend. Maybe you just lift a couple inches. Hold. And then press back up to straight. As long as you feel that tension while you're holding on to this, maybe that's to limit your strength, and that's fine. You can work it from there. Another way to back off from this, which I do recommend, rather than putting your knees on the floor, which is what people tend to do in class, if you're working this on your own, trying to build more strength, you want to elevate your hands. Now, the more you can elevate your hands and elevate your upper body, keeping your feet lower, the less stress it's going to be on the upper body. And it will help you build the strength to come down lower toward the floor. But while you're working on this with less weight on your hands, you can concentrate on the engagement of your body and how your elbows are actually bending. So I'm using this with about 3 blocks. And you can go lower, you can go higher, you can have your hands on 2 chairs. I mean, you can play around with whatever's around you here. But again, hands going to be about shoulder width. So from here, I'm going to set my hands on the blocks, step my feet back, and I just want to find a position where I can hold my body in one long line with the core brace. And again, I'm not going to hang my hips. I'm not going to feel my shoulders shrug. I'm going to stay lifted between the shoulder blades, keep my belly pulled in. Now here again, you want to press from the toes, shift your shoulders forward, and then bend the elbows as the shoulders come forward. Just come to that halfway shape where you can feel the upper arms in line with your upper body, and then press back up to straight. And just take it back and forth like that through repetitions. Shoulders forward as the elbows bend. Bring yourself down. Bring the upper arms in line with your body. Keep the elbows pulled in. And then again, press this back up. And you can work that for repetitions as well. You may find that you're able to do, say, up to 8, maybe up to 10. Do it in a few sets. Or take it super slow. You can do, say, something like 3 sets of 3. You got to sort of play around with this. You don't want to necessarily kill yourself while you're doing this, but you want it to feel like work, so you can actually build up to this over time. And if you do a few of these every day or more days than not, it's going to make a very big difference very quickly, keep in mind. So that's Chaturanga.